Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for coming. I'm really excited to see so many faces. I welcome you to the Impact Lab at Austin Community College. We're very happy to have this event. We've been waiting a long time. As you all know, it's been tough during the COVID times to get things to happen. And this is one of our biggest events that, for me at least, because it shows that we can actually accumulate a place that will bring our students and industry together. So we're very excited to have this grand opening. And as many of you know, this was funded by the Economic Development Agency grant, and we worked for the last couple of years to get things moving. We're doing a lot of new things, and I have Dr.
Well, thank you, Laura. And I want to say thank you for all of you showing up this morning. This means a lot to ACC. So we are here to celebrate an exciting and important milestone for Central Texas, not just ACC, but Central Texas. It's no secret that the manufacturing sector in our region is growing. And maybe that's an understatement when I say growing. It has been like straight up. And so we're excited about that. About a third of major employers in Central Texas are manufacturers, but making it in manufacturing hasn't been easy. You know, the rebound of manufacturing, which Ed probably started 5 years ago, you know, we weren't prepared for the numbers of companies and the amount of training that needed to happen. For one, our community didn't have the types of specialized facilities startup companies needed to grow. We also didn't have the types of advanced learning environments that students need to learn the important skills necessary to gain the hands-on experience. The Impact Lab at Austin Community College changes that. We're building pathways for startup companies and students to grow, learn, create, and lead the future. You know, I was talking to one of our faculty members back there, Tim, and he showed me one of the things that they manufactured back here, which was a ball hitch for towing. And I thought, why, you know, where else would you manufacture? But Texas needs ball hitches. Everybody has a pickup truck. So today, as we celebrate the grand opening here, we do so with two companies already embedded into our lab here in the Impact. So Z Prime and Tubular, and with cohorts of manufacturing students who are already in class, learning right here where you're sitting today, gaining real-world experience and knowledge. So you may have already heard about some of the great work happening here, but I want to tell you about one of those. Our first company to join the Impact Lab is Z Prime. They're developing a special advanced sensing drone that's designed to provide cities, utilities, and communities with better responses and plans before, during, and after severe weather events. I was talking to one of our trustees, Julianne, at the grand reopening of the Rio Grande, and she said, "Could we get a drone to fly over?" Yes, we can, Julianne. So instead of sending manned helicopters out to check lines and collect data during a weather event, these drones can do the work. And all the key parts are custom designed, fabricated, assembled, and tested right here in the Impact Lab. So this is truly what transformation looks like. When we cut the ribbon, I encourage you to take time to look around and feel what it looks like to be in manufacturing. Students don't know what they don't know. Manufacturing is the career of the future. So this is how we grow production in Austin. ACC is honored to be a part of this exciting growth, and it takes collaboration to bring something like this to life. And as you can imagine, building a facility of this magnitude isn't simple, and it isn't cheap. ACC is honored to be the only awardee in Texas to receive federal grant dollars that came from the National Economic Development Administration's Regional Innovation Strategies program to bring this lab to reality. And, you know, I want to point out just a few people that helped make that happen. So one of those is Mitch Jacobson. So Mitch, could you raise your hand? from ATI, and he's also on our foundation board, but he has been a blessing. Dr. Mary's team that wrote the grant and put a lot of work into that. And I'm going to recognize somebody who's been at our side along the way on every step, and that's Ed Latson from Army. It's not, it's not just that group, but it's everybody. It's the industry partners that have worked with us along the way. So to our friends at the Austin Technology Incubator at UT Austin, from Autodesk, the City of Austin, Amazon Web Services, Austin Regional Manufacturing Association, I want to say thank you. And again, especially thank you, Ed, for your help. To our manufacturing industry leaders at Samsung, Applied Materials, NXP, Tesla, and Athena Manufacturing, I want to say thank you for your support in making this happen. I'd also like to recognize our Board of Trustees, their support, and their commitment to the future. This wouldn't happen. And so we have with us today our Vice Chair, Dr. Nora De Hoyos Comstock, right out there. Our Secretary, Sean Hassan, and Trustees, Julianne Nitsch, and Dr. Manny Gonzalez, our newest trustee. Things like this don't happen just by ourselves, and so it takes a team effort internally to the college to make this happen. I want to recognize them too. So we've got our Executive Vice Chancellor and Provost, Dr. Monique Humphrey, Executive Vice Chancellor, Dr. Molly Beth Malcolm, and I didn't see him, but I'm going to mark a naughty Neil. So Neil Vickers, our Executive Vice Chancellor. And then our Vice Chancellors, Mike Midgley, Dr. Shasta Buchanan, Garrett Groves, Dr. Chris Cervini, Dr. Mary Harris, Brett Lee. Oh, Brett is always hiding. Watching, okay. Taking notes. And I want to thank our elected officials for being with us today. So our Congressman Lloyd Doggett, thank you for being with us. State Representative Cheryl Cole, thank you. City Councilman Chito Vela. And then we also have with us Superintendent from Del Valle, Annette Tilley, back in the back. What you see here is the ongoing work of our Impact Lab Advisory Board, some of whom are here with us today. And so I want to recognize those members too. So Mitch Jacobson, that I recognize, Ed Latson, Russell Stampville, Eric Johnson, Thomas Ortman, John Newman, Creighton Bowie, Erica Pox, Ray Ward, Deanna Josie, and Bobby Blunt. So thank you for making this happen. Together, we're transforming Austin's manufacturing industry from education to business development. And for putting this event together, there's a whole lot of people to thank, but I just want to say thank you to Brett Lee and Jessica Vest and Dahlia and Balan, and too many people to name, but Zane, who is one of our newer people running this lab, Ruben, and all the faculty and staff that make this run. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And now it is my pleasure. It's my pleasure to welcome the Secretary of our Board of Trustees, who will bring you greetings from the board.
Thank you, Dr. Rhodes. I was speaking to someone a couple of days ago, and they said there's a shortage of ribbon out there, and they assumed it was, global supply chain issues and post-pandemic recovery and crises. And I said, no, ACC is using up all of the ribbon. We're here today. We were at Rio Grande earlier this week. Last month, we were next door at the opening of KLRU, or PBS station. And my hope is that for the next several years, we will continue to experience ribbon shortage. For those of you who don't already know, the ACC board has voted to place on next month's ballot for the voters to consider a bond that would fund facilities focused on workforce development. So just like the facility that you are sitting in right now or standing in right now, across our district, north, south, central, at all of our campuses focused on healthcare, advanced manufacturing, technology, and the types of fields that really earn folks the type of income that you need to live in Central Texas today. And so we hope that you all will not only vote for the bond, I can say that as a trustee, as a member of the board, that you'll not only vote for the bond, but that you'll encourage others to vote for the bond as well, because we will be opening up facilities like these that address critical workforce needs and help bring along all segments of our community to share in prosperity. So hopefully a lot of ribbon shortages in the years to come with your support. As Secretary of the Board, it is my honor, it's a privilege to be here with all of you today, and I welcome you on behalf of my colleagues on the board. I met a few people here who are new to Austin, someone who just came here 4 days ago and found his way to us today. And for those of you who are new, you may not be as aware of the very special history of this space that we're gathered here on today. And if you don't, I would encourage you to explore a little bit about this land that we're occupying at Highland and in this impact land. Each time we open up a new space or we launch a new initiative that aspires to expand opportunity to all segments of our community, particularly to segments that may not otherwise have opportunity, that seeks to broaden horizons, and that aims to nurture community like we're doing today by bringing folk together, and as the Impact Labs and the other incubators do, I think we honor the spirit and the history of this space. And so I encourage you to learn more about it, because this is part of renewing that spirit every time we take a step as we're doing today. There aren't many community colleges in the country that have a space like this on their campus. I don't think any have 3 incubators on their campus, on their campuses. And so we are very fortunate here at ACC. I think the fact that we've made these sorts of investments tells you how ACC views our role in this community, and more importantly, how we view our students. We know that with the support, the resources, and the exposure, our students have the grit, they have the talent, they have the work ethic, they have the motivation, the drive to excel and to fully take advantage of all of these sorts of spaces and the resources that are available to them. With ACC's manufacturing program, for those who aren't familiar with our range of programs, you can start as a high school student in one of our manufacturing or in our manufacturing academies. Where you will not only get classroom experience on campus, but you get out into industry and work at job sites, getting exposed to mentors and to the type of machinery and the work environment that you need to thrive in post-high school. You can start as an adult learner and get a certification so that you can go out and start work right away. Or you can get an associate's degree. And that was the case up until a month ago when we added our first cohort of bachelor students. And so now we have our bachelor's degree in manufacturing as well. And so educators here are part of a broad portfolio that aims to meet students where they are, whether that's high school, whether that's adult learners, or whether those are folks who are on their way to being entrepreneurs and finding the next big thing. These programs, as Dr. Rhodes mentioned, are not developed in a silo, and so I want to take a moment to thank industry and the industry leaders that you'll be hearing from shortly for all of the support that they have provided to ACC and the investments that they make, the partnerships that they continue to sustain with ACC. It is a testament to their confidence in our college, in our staff, in our faculty, and in our students, and we're really, really grateful for that partnership, and we know that partnership will last long into the future. Every time we make decisions here at ACC, we think from a variety of lenses. We look, of course, at the workforce needs and the needs of our emerging economy, but we also think about issues of equity and how we make sure that all of the segments of our community are brought along as part of our journey. And doing that with us, we've got a variety of partners as well. Some I won't call out by name because they'll have a chance to come up to the podium, and Dr. Rhodes has already acknowledged them, but our elected officials at the city, at the county, at the state, at the federal government, all of whom have partnered with us in a variety of ways, including to make this lab a reality. And so with that, I'd like to turn it over to one of our great partners, an unstinting supporter of ACC, a friend, and our Congressman, Dr. Lloyd. Lloyd Doggett, not a doctor. I was giving you a degree.
That's right. Well, thank you, Sean, for your great leadership, Dr. Rhodes, and your whole team here. It has been a great week for Austin Community College. Good being with so many of you at my old high school, which has just been transformed by ACC and is doing so much good with the Army Software Factory down there and the like. There was a time before the pandemic, before the seditious conspiracy to overthrow our government, when I turned to the news each morning, I was looking first at the business section, because that's where the changes were occurring around Central Texas that had the most impact on the lives of our families. And I think that time is returning again, although the first story that seems to be up, whether you're making computer chips or potato chips, is workforce shortage. And that's what this event is all about. And it is so great that the focus is on an ended partnership, because we need that kind of partnership make things work. I think it's wonderful that the University of Texas can turn out as many mechanical engineers and electrical engineers as its department permits. And though I'm glad that today is a Longhorn Day, Molly Beth, even as many Aggie engineers as we can produce. But someone, once those machines are designed, and I've been out to Applied Materials and seen little tools just a little larger than the one behind me, somebody's got to operate that equipment. Someone has to maintain that equipment. And so it's so vital that we have all levels of skills and insights working together in a partnership in the private sector to be sure that we get the manufacturing that we need. I think it's important to have a partnership that involves federal, city, state colleagues. The federal investment here is, I have to say that through the years, a lot of federal money has been wasted on job training and retraining programs that didn't match up people with the real needs that the private sector had. And the fact that you have a private advisory committee, and there's such a great relationship between ACC and local manufacturers is critical to ensuring that the people that come out of these programs are ready to go right out to a job here in Central Texas. In the Congress, despite the many problems we have there, I think there are 3 measures that have been passed within the last 18 months that will really have a great intersection with this. The first was the infrastructure bill, which is bringing about $30 billion to the state of Texas, mostly for improvements in the transportation system, but also, and I was pleased when we parked over here to see some electric charging stations in the new garage there, to get these electric charging stations all over the state and help us make the transition to a clean economy, as well as some other provisions on broadband and the like that are important. The second measure that is particularly important, and I know, Ed, you've been, and your association has been involved in this, is the CHIPS Act. We were once a semiconductor manufacturing center. We still have some important manufacturing, but so much of it has been designed here and manufacturing somewhere else, overdependence on Taiwan Semiconductor. We have the opportunity over at the Pickle Research Center to get the Texas Institute for Electronics designing cutting-edge packaging material and other research institutions. But again, what will really count through CHIPS is not just the actual semiconductor manufacturing, but all of the various contractors, subcontractors, and the like that are intertwined with the semiconductor industry, dealing with an issue so important to our national security, but what will really add to our economic security here in Central Texas. And finally, and of particular interest to me, the new Climate Act. It's actually called, we name things better than what's in them. It's called the Inflation Reduction Act. I haven't seen much reduction, but it does have some really important clean energy provisions. Ed and I were out about a month ago at a company that's one of his members on product launch off of San Elmo called Yada Energy. And they have something that's not much larger than this, that is a portable electric charging station. It's solar powered, and it has unique battery storage capabilities. It could be deployed to just about any remote area in the state. It's the kind of innovation that we need, and they're creating jobs, and here we can fill them. I've been around Austin long enough. I remember when we, of course, Dr. Rhodes, we didn't actually ground break, but you broke a wall out here in the parking lot as we were starting. But even before that, at a time when the major high-tech industry here was a little north where they made Selectric typewriters at IBM, and Tracor over on the old Motorola campus doing some defense products. Of course, most of the students who come here don't know what a typewriter is, probably. The changes that are occurring, this allows us to be at the cutting edge to keep advancing those changes. And just as since that day when we broke the wall to start the construction here on the Highland campus, everything that's around here is a real transformation of this campus, of the old Highland Mall, of all the private sector partnership that's made this possible. And I think that transformation just reverberates and spreads out throughout our community and provides so many economic opportunities and so much an individual opportunity for success here. Great plan, salute you, and someone who I know cares about these issues as much as I do, who has done a great job for us on the City Council and then serving as state representative for the area that we're in today, and that's my good friend Cheryl Cole. Cheryl, thank you.
Thank you, Congressman Lloyd Doggett. I bring greetings from the great state of Texas. I'm proud to be a part of this innovation project and bringing jobs and opportunities to the area. We have to give a big shout out to Dr. Rhodes and his team and the faculty and staff and everyone that's been involved. I know it takes a group effort, and we want to make sure that we recognize them. Tesla, Applied, Z Prime, Samsung, so many industry partners that have put together their resources and come and made an opportunity for ACC and taken advantage of our workforce. We have to recognize that they too deserve our applause. You can't say enough how important it is to have a strong connection between the community and higher education to make opportunities for our children to live and grow here and to have high wages. And so it's with pleasure that I'm here to recognize and honor the community for this grand accomplishment. And without further ado, I'll introduce my friend and new council members, Cheeto Vela.
Thank y'all so much for having me. I live very close to the area. My law office is on Huntland, just around here. So I have been in and around the Highland Mall area for so long, and I've seen it go from a thriving mall to a really empty and derelict mall, and now to a new and vibrant college, housing, retail, restaurants. And it is inspiring. It makes me optimistic, and I have to credit the vision of ACC and their trustees to make that big jump and to purchase a property and to commit to it. And again, I just want to thank y'all so much for making that investment, which is going to create opportunities for so many people in Austin into the future, and it's going to educate so many students into the future. I met with with Tesla recently, and they told me that they were at about 3,000 employees at their current plant there out by the airport, and they told me that eventually, and I'm talking eventually like in the next 5 years or so, 20,000 employees potentially at Tesla. So it's critical. We have such a good, highly educated, highly motivated population. We need the training, we need the skills, and it's great to see ACC making the investments in the community so that we are able to continue the economic growth that Austin has enjoyed for so much time now. And again, it's just exciting to see everything moving forward and everything taking place. I did want to just briefly mention the bonds. There's 3 big bonds on the November ballot. ACC has one of them, which is, again, we are a growing economy. We need to continue to invest in our public infrastructure. The bond, I think, is a critical. I'll be voting for all 3. The city has a little bond compared to the other 2, but the city has a housing bond, which we need to continue to invest in affordable housing. And of course, the school district has a major bond as well, where they're going to be upgrading and investing in so many campuses. Again, an extremely necessary investment in our future, in our youth, and I would urge everyone to support those, and I'm hoping to see them pass in November. And then I would like to just introduce Ed Latson, the ARMA director, to come and speak. And thank y'all so much for your time.
Thank you, Councilmember. I appreciate that. Guys, this is a terrific day. And I'm standing here looking back at this facility. It is a manifestation of a vision and a hope and a wish of a thriving manufacturing community here in Central Texas. We came in 4 years ago and met with Dr. Rhodes and his team and asked for something like this. And it didn't take too much convincing for a person like Dr. Rhodes, because he understands the importance of manufacturing and how it can change lives. And Dr. Rhodes, when I look at this, I just think it's such a fulfillment of the promise that you made in that room, and I just want to sincerely thank you and your team. I mean, I don't think Austin could have, or Austin Community College could have, a better president than we do, and I mean that sincerely. So, thank you. We've mentioned briefly that manufacturing's thriving. Samsung Semiconductor, a $23 billion investment, $17 billion investment with a road of $40 billion in Taylor, Texas. Tesla, a $1.7 billion facility in Taylor, the biggest facility in the world, built right here in Central Texas. You have CellLink in Georgetown that's going to hire 2,000 people. Plasticon in Kyle that's building a 4,000 square foot facility. King Shan and Leander. That's not to mention the expansions that have happened in the past year and the ones that are announced from NXP, Infineon, Applied Materials. Notice all of those are semiconductors there at the end. And Congressman, your work on CHIPS Act has been so critical to the growth of this industry, and we're very much appreciative of your effort as well. When we had this discussion a while back, I talked about how ACC changes lives, and particularly in manufacturing, we're giving people a pathway to an affordable income in a region that's increasingly becoming unaffordable. The average wage in manufacturing is $90,000 a year. the average wage in semiconductor is $170,000 a year. Right? These are jobs that will make a difference, and this facility is where that pathway starts. The last note I will mention is that it takes work, and it took a lot of work to make this happen. The work really is just beginning, because this is when the partnership can come together, influence the people that are in this space learning, get them jobs, help them continue their education path, whether it be an associate's or a bachelor's or a PhD. They all have roles within manufacturing. So thank you very much. It is now my honor to maybe introduce you to one of these lives that will be impacted by this facility, ACC student Hannah Edmiston. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Hannah Edmiston. I just want to quickly say how excited I am to be here. And I'm really honored that ACC is asking me to speak today for you. So I'm currently an ACC manufacturing student. So a little bit about me. When I was a kid, my father once brought me to an injection molding plant and gave me a little bag of plastic chips in my favorite Steelers colors. And ever since then, I've been intrigued by manufacturing and how and why things worked. We've been all over the world because my father has been in manufacturing and supply chain, so it's always been kind of a personal passion of mine. So fast forward a few years after that, I was actually training as a chef in Switzerland, studying hospitality and business. And during pandemic, I found myself in the middle of Del Valley, a junkyard, pulling a transmission, a fender, a bumper, middle console, you name it, for my cousin's recently wrecked car. So it wasn't until 6 months into the pandemic, I had stolen my parents' garage, installing that transmission based off a few YouTube videos that I had watched, that I realized my true love for mechanics, although it might have been using the power tools that I loved a little bit more. So since pandemic and joining ACC, I've been able to answer the questions that I've been asking my whole life, and I couldn't be more grateful. ACC has allowed the opportunity to teach mechanically minded men and women, like myself, how to use the advanced technologies that you see here behind you in a practical way. This Haas mini mill, I probably spend about 7 hours every Saturday together, building all sorts of stuff. So all my professors bring their real life experience and knowledge into the classroom. They take time to help me and answer the hundreds of questions that I probably ask them every single day, and go above and beyond to teach the lessons that we need to be successful. So seeing the representatives here for all the really amazing businesses who offer students like us opportunities to come and learn more and put that knowledge to good use just makes me so happy to have invested the time into ACC and hopefully ACC into me. So I'm really excited to finish my manufacturing degree and see where manufacturing will take me in the future. So I hope you all have a great rest of the day and enjoy the grand opening of the Impact Lab. Thank you.
Well, I'm back again. Thank you all for participating. I'm going to give some closing remarks, and then we'll do the ribbon cutting. But just to first, I want to make sure I thank everyone for attending, thank our students for participating. It's always hard to come up here and speak as a student, and I know what that's like. So I appreciate Hannah being here, and I appreciate a lot of other students that I see here in the audience. Likewise, I want to definitely thank the speakers for coming today and taking the time to spend time with us so early on a Friday morning. So thank you for joining us. What we're going to do next is after the ribbon cutting, we will be doing tours. So if anyone hasn't seen all the equipment, even the ones in the back, and kind of get a little bit of an explanation of what they do, we'll be doing tours. At the same time, we'll be having a career fair for students out in the opening area. And at about 11 o'clock, we're going to be doing an industry panel presentation. So we invite all of you to participate or come and listen. We have 4 key partners with us that will be talking about, manufacturing and the jobs that they have in-house. And so we welcome you to join us for that as well. So still things to come. There's, for example, we are planning to start an apprenticeship, CNC apprenticeship in January. So we have new things on the horizon. We also have a potential announcement on a sponsorship announcement that's coming up with one of our industry partners, again, coming up soon. So I just wanted to let you know to keep an eye out that there's more to come. and we're happy to share all of these exciting adventures with you. So before we get started, I guess the first thing we're going to do is the ribbon cutting, so we'll get to that first, and then, like I said, please join us in the lecture hall, tours, there's refreshments outside, and just join us for the next next hour to get to know each other. Thank you.
I'm not that talented. I can't.